Once a year at Beth Yeshurun, either toward the end of May or beginning of June, we designate a special Friday night as a Cancer Survivor Night. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate cancer survivors and to offer hope and comfort and blessing to those people who are going through cancer treatment now. Every year we've been doing this since we became a member of a very important and special organization in town called CanCare. CanCare is an interfaith organization that provides support, comfort, and blessing to those people who are going through cancer treatment by providing a special person to walk through the cancer treatment with them, someone who has theoretically, hopefully, gone through the same kind of treatment if it's possible to match them up in that specific capacity. Tonight, we're very delighted to have a special speaker tonight, the President and Chief Executive Officer of CanCare, speak to us more about what CanCare does. Her name is Darcie Wells. She's sitting over here. And she has been the third Chief Executive Officer of CanCare. She began November 2020. Before that, she was working for the March of Dimes, and she was very effective at the March of Dimes, and we're now excited that she is the leader of CanCare organization. I'm going to let her tell you more about what CanCare does, so please welcome Darcie Wells.
Thank you, Rabbi Morgan, and thank you all for inviting me to join you today. This is very special for me to be here, and CanCare really applauds you for setting aside this time to honor those facing cancer and those who have survived. And I know there are many of you in this room, and I see a number of CanCare volunteers in this room, so I'm so very pleased to be here. So 32 years ago, we were founded because an incredible woman faced a cancer diagnosis. She had a huge community of support from her family, her own congregation, and yet she still felt incredibly alone. She didn't have anyone in her life who had walked that same path before her and could really give her hope to speak from a place of victory, of overcoming the cancer. She vowed when she beat her cancer, which she did, that she would instill hope for others. So she created CanCare, and over the past 30 plus years, we have touched thousands of lives with hope. She is now 94 years old, living in North Carolina, and stays very active with what we're doing here at CanCare. CanCare envisions a world where no one faces cancer alone. We provide hope and healing to the cancer community by ensuring that anyone facing cancer can have a survivor by their side. That's our mission statement. When Ann Turnage founded CanCare in 1990, she was a pastor's wife at Memorial Drive Presbyterian Church, and she started our mission by recruiting, finding cancer survivors, getting them together and providing some kind of, at the time, pretty rudimentary training and how to provide support to other people. And they would go out and visit different churches and congregations in the greater Houston area to support those in those congregations who were facing cancer at the time. And that's really how our relationship with Congregation Beth Yeshurun started in 2001 as well. Since our founding in 1990, CanCare has provided emotional support to more than 25,000 cancer patients and caregivers, including some right here in this room, conducted more than 200,000 in-person visits in healthcare facilities, and we have one of our amazing hospital volunteers who does that right here in the front row, and trained more than 2,000 cancer survivors to provide personalized support to cancer patients and caregivers. So far in 2022, CanCare has matched together 500 cancer patients and caregivers with a survivor by their side. That's reaching more people in the first 4 months of this year than we have in the prior time in the last 31 years. So the demand for our services is growing. Cancer has become one of the largest epidemics of our time. Currently, 1 in 3 Americans will face a cancer diagnosis in their lifetime, according to the American Cancer Society. And the American Cancer Society also predicts that these diagnoses are going to increase in the coming years as people are emerging from the pandemic and the isolation of the pandemic and going back and seeking treatment and seeing their physicians again. So CanCare is really committed to being ready to serve the increased demand on our services. So how does CanCare work? And the rabbi mentioned that a little bit. So someone generally newly diagnosed with cancer or a cancer caregiver, someone who is loving someone with cancer, will reach out to us, go to cancare.org, and provide some basic information about their cancer story. Then our team will match them with one of our amazing survivor volunteers. And we currently have over 500 survivors of different cancer types and caregivers standing by, ready to serve those that are being newly diagnosed. The volunteer then connects with the client, and that's when the relationship begins. And as Michael would attest, each relationship looks very different. Some facing cancer might just want to speak to their volunteer and have a few questions that they want to answer as they're facing treatment, or they may be facing surgery. But others are really looking for someone to walk alongside them through every step of their journey. So each relationship is very unique to that individual client's needs. The strength and impact of our mission really comes from our survivor and caregiver volunteers. We have over 500 of them with over 50 different cancer types within that volunteer base, including our caregivers, who go through an extensive 2-day therapist design training that's developed and administered by CanCare. And it really gives our volunteers the tools to help the patients navigate not only the physical turmoil of cancer, but the emotional and the spiritual turmoil that is caused by a cancer diagnosis. We entrust ourselves to the physicians to heal our bodies, but we have the emotional, mental, and spiritual care that we need as well. The demand for our services is steadily growing, and we need more cancer survivors and caregivers to join our volunteer family and to serve those newly diagnosed with cancer. So if you or someone you know would like to give back in this way, I know I've already met another survivor when I walked in. I'm sure there are many more of you in here. We would love to have you join our family. You can visit cancare.org and learn more and sign up to be a volunteer. And after we conclude today, I'm available as well to visit with you all. Our CanCare volunteers also provide support and hope to individuals undergoing treatment at healthcare facilities. And these include the Houston Methodist Hospital System, the Memorial Hermann Healthcare System, and oncology consultants. We provide additional training for these healthcare volunteers, and they take regular shifts at hospitals in a designated area, usually like the infusion centers or radiation centers at hospitals, and they're there to really provide that friendly smile and listening ear for someone coming in for treatment. And while these visits may only be a few minutes of a visit, oftentimes when you're coming in for cancer treatment, you're coming in at the same time every day for a number of weeks, so you really get to know this volunteer, and they really build some very special relationships. Sometimes the best way to explain what we do and why it's so important is to hear the testimonies of our clients and volunteers. So I would like to share a few of those with you today. This is from a CanCare client, Tim. He said, "Neither I nor my family knew what to do. That changed when I was put in contact with Tim H." Yes, he was matched with another Tim. That's not part of the service. It was just random. A fellow prostate cancer warrior who was going to get me through this with frank talk, a few jokes, and a big dose of reality. How I needed all three at that time. He answered questions that I was too afraid to ask. CanCare is where I received the advice that allowed me to get back into the game of life. CanCare volunteer Kenny says, "I have one CanCare client that had cancer in his tonsils just like I did. When we spoke the first time, he helped me as much as I helped him. It felt good, and it also reminded me of what I endured and overcame. CanCare keeps me focused on my health and giving back to others." And finally, CanCare client Cindy. She says about her volunteer, "She answered questions I asked and even a few I didn't know to ask. She didn't sugarcoat it, which is exactly what I wanted. I knew the road ahead of us would be tough, but just knowing that there was a chance of long-term survival gave me hope. I think without CanCare and Judy, we would have faced some very scary things alone. Just knowing that I could reach out to her at the end of the day and know that I was going to find support gave me a sense of peace." I hope my remarks and these testimonies provide you with a picture of our amazing mission at CanCare. You can get involved by becoming a volunteer or by sending people our way. As you meet people who are facing a cancer diagnosis, we want to serve them. We are so grateful for our partnership with Beth Yeshurun and what you do in caring for our community. And I would be happy to visit with any of you as we conclude today. And on behalf of the CanCare family, thank you for our partnership. Thank you.
So we'd like to now invite those who are cancer survivors, if you'd like to stand and be recognized this evening. Cancer survivors. Mazel tov. For cancer caregivers, people, please stay standing, stay standing. People who are caregivers for cancer survivors, cancer patients. Cancer patients who are currently cancer patients, please stand. Anybody here a cancer patient? No? Okay. And if you are a family member of somebody who's gone through cancer treatment, please stand. So for all of you, we want you all to know that you are not alone, as you can see right here, and that CanCare can offer hope and support to you, or maybe you would be able to be a volunteer for CanCare to offer hope and support to others. We want to do a special blessing for you from the book of Numbers, the priestly benediction. Yevarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Holy One bless you and watch over you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Holy One always be mindful of you and grant you peace and happiness now and always. And now Amen. Now we have a special prayer that our cantor Neil Tybell is going to sing. It's a special Misha Berach. Heal us now. You can be seated.
קרוב לכל קורב, אך קרוב לרעיו ישור. We pray for healing of the body. We pray for healing of the soul. For strength of flesh and mind and spirit, we pray to once again be whole. El Narefana, oh please heal us now. Refuat nefesh, refuat aguf, refuat shlema. El Narefana, oh please heal us now. Refuat nefesh, refuat aguf, refuat shlema. Heal us now. Heal us now. Hoshia et amecha, uvarech et nachlatecha, urem v'nasem ad haolam. Misheberach avoteinu, Misheberach Eloheinu, Ana Adonai Hoshiana. We pray for healing of our people. We pray for healing of the land and peace for every race and nation.